Craft.docs has been one of the coolest applications to review in the past few months, so I figured why not showcase for you guys the top 5 tips that I have for improving your workflow when using Craft. So first and foremost, learn Markdown functionality. This is best showcased on a new document, as there is a huge level of learning curve for any person trying to learn Markdown functionality, but it's not that crazy. Just first, I would recommend going to the application itself and really working with it here. So do a backslash and look through the different things that you can do. Learn whether you want to type lists and then go through and practice typing /2, and then you can have /2 or /toggle or /today, and then doing /lists again and going through and looking at the different things like the numbered list you can do. You can have it just be /bullet, or working through and figuring out what shortcuts also work with it by doing a little hyphen or a bracket, and then that turns into a checkbox. And then what I would recommend you doing is going through to the Help Center on Craft's website and looking through the different keyboard shortcuts you have, especially if you are a Mac user. It is really effective to utilize these different things. I know that you can't do the same exact things in Craft for the Windows users on desktop, but if we also go through and look at the Markdown style shortcuts, this is something that you can do the exact same on everything. The Craft Help Center is a really great spot to check out all these different things and figure out the Markdown shortcuts, but doing the / functionality outside of that to do different things quickly in the application is my first tip. Then I would recommend that you use cards. So for me, I have a different example of a home page here, and I think that cards work really well to tell a story as to what they are, and it just looks more aesthetic. By creating these different cards, I get a different feel and can even change my setup for what my home would look like quickly by just moving these cards around. And I obviously could, if I wanted to, change the style of these cards. So if I go to the top right here, I can have modern, classy, fun for the different text styles. But then I can change the background colors really easily by doing this, or I could have a custom image in the background, or just change these in general. So I'm probably gonna press this guy right here, press apply style, and that could change it here versus the other one. So if I wanted to differentiate it in that sense, I definitely could. If I could change this, if I wanted, all these are able to be made by typing /card, and you would be able to create a new example card here. And I do apply style. And then this creates a page that you can go into. And while it is nice to just do different things like, make a /page here, it's not nearly as fun to use in my opinion. You're not having a crazy great time by making a bunch of the little pages right here. Next, I would recommend really using the folder functionality here. So the whole point of it is, if you have an application where you can organize within different folders and process your data in different ways, it really does help. So having a workspace, maybe from here, is the only thing that it shows for now. But if we look at even the example of what Craft gives us at the beginning, having a overall theme for a folder makes a lot of sense. So it's like, how to use Craft, welcome to Craft, getting started. So if I go further from that idea I had earlier with these keyboard shortcuts and these Markdown style shortcuts, I could have a subfolder be made, which is default Craft docs, create that folder, drag these guys in here, and then I could make another subfolder, useful Craft tips that maybe I would make. And even just by doing this and copying this page, and making a new page within this useful Craft tips by going to new and doing it new document, I could paste keyboard shortcuts here and do the exact same thing for another page. If I were to go back and click on this useful Craft tips, press a new folder or press a new document, copy the Markdown style shortcuts, go through all of this, just paste this in here. Now I have organized information in a pretty nice setup. I have the useful Craft tips for things that I have myself, and then I have the default Craft.docs tips that came with the software. The next tip I would give would be to utilize the Craft extensions platform. There are a myriad of different things people are doing that is really exciting as this application keeps growing. The app itself is pretty bare bones, and the whole purpose is that if people really want to grow the application, what they then can do is make an extension on it rather than it being more than the note-taking app it is, by default, and it's not uploaded software that way. There are really cool third-party integrations where you can take different things like your to-do lists in Craft and turn them into tasks in Things 3. These really only work for Mac, but are really cool for expanding upon your Craft experience without compromising the software. And then my last thing would be, I would say, let's make new templates. So you can view Craft templates here, and the nice thing about this is if you really want to make a doc setup that where you work with other people, there are a bunch of different templates that can be used here. Or for me, as somebody who, is making a YouTube video, there are great examples as well. But if you find inspiration from any of these, right? So say I really like this and I wanted to make this template similar to what I actually have in Craft. And I were to have maybe my home space be something like this. What I could do is make a home template. So I'm going to duplicate this home example and then move it to my templates. So in the template section now, what I could have here is if I edit the template, I could have an example of a home workspace so that someone could easily and quickly utilize this for their own workspace. Or even for myself, if I wanted to overhaul what I was doing or make a new task page or make a new template for a journal entry, this is a really good way to quickly update what you're doing and even start from scratch if anything goes awry. If you want to learn more on how to improve your productivity, check out this video. There's no way you won't be more productive after watching it.